We are already recording. Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, meine Damen und Herren, señores y señoras. Here we are again. It is Craft Cup time. It is Craft Cup number 28. We are in the first semi-final. It's all German semi-final. It is a PVT. We are here in Lost Temple and we have GoOdy playing against HasuObs. GoOdy is spawning is the purple Terran at the 12 o'clock and close positions by ground. We have HasuObs spawning as the yellow Protoss player at the 9 o'clock, and they were just talking about something, so let me enable my insane translator skills here. And we saw the GLHF, okay, and then HasuObs is asking GoOdy with the new or the old singer. And then Hasu is saying GLHF and GoOdy says he doesn't know the new one. So maybe this is some sort of special secret talk. Maybe GoOdy, Hasu is saying, okay, they doing the win trading. Hasu just told them, okay, with the new or the old singer means the old singer is GoOdy wins the first game and Hasu wins the second game, and then we saw an interesting ace match. But GoOdy said, okay, he doesn't know the new one. So he's like saying, okay, this time we don't do win trading, we want to play it by the book. And yes, I was trained by CIA operatives, so I know every code talk right away. But enough with the trash talk, and let's take a look what Hasu is doing. I think we should see a cybernetics core right away. And interestingly enough, Hasu is going for the cybernetics core before the second pylon, so he was hurrying a little bit with his gateway. Getting the cybernetics core at a 715 supply, I think it was. Already is quite early, so I'm really curious where this is going. GoOdy this time, of course, finished with the wall off as soon as he got this one Marine out. Going for the tech lab right away, and I'm really impressed. I mean, GoOdy was playing really well at the IEM in Kiev, and showing us not only his super duper mech style, especially this Reaper rush. We saw him doing versus Margolina in the second game on the quarterfinals, so well executed and very nice micro, even though GoOdy is known not to have too much APM. For example, we see Hasu here at 240, but of course, compared to StarCraft 1, StarCraft 2 is not a game which is so much APM demanding. It demands more thinking than and more anticipating than it actually demands in terms of mechanics. So we see GoOdy wants to go for some aggressive play here. He's got a Marauder out. He's got a second Marauder just finished. He got the Concussor Shell finished right now. And now Hasu just spotted the Marauder. He spotted the SCVs and the Marines. So Hasu, of course, will now be forced to use his probes to prevent those units from doing some serious damage, because if he just has this lone stalker and this lone stalker and the zealots, it won't be that effective. So there we see those forces once again coming in, having two marauders, having one marine, having two SCVs, and now this Zealot is getting kited, but because of the fact that he's got two Stalker out, he will be able to repel this unit more or less good enough. But of course he needs to watch out. Those Zealots, those Stalkers are very vulnerable if there are no Zealots in the mix, and Hasu once again will be forced to use his probes, and he really needs to watch out for the... He needs to lift up the Marauder. He really needs to watch out for his forces, and the reason why you're asking yourself, okay, why only does he have one gate? Because he's going for the hidden Stargate here, and with his first Phoenix out, he's in a good position. Next Phoenix should be out right now, and with his next Phoenix out, yes, we're directly rally to the Marauder. Now the other Phoenix and the Stalker can take care of it. So very nice play. So I really understand why Hasu went for the really fast first gateway, so he can get out the Stargate as soon as possible. And defending a Marauder rush with Phoenixes, just watching out for the Stalkers and bringing some probes in the mix from time to time is a really well executed defense here by Hasu. And now the good thing about it is that Hasu is here in the base of GoOdy. He sees what's going on, he sees exactly what tech he goes for, how far ahead he is with his, for example, with this expansion, but there's no expansion at all. And GoOdy not only building the missile turrets, he's researching the high-sec auto-tracking upgrade right away, which allows not only the planetary fortresses and the point defense drone, but most important of all, the missile turrets to have +1 range. But the upgrade was not finished, even though it only takes 80 seconds for it to finish. He was able to kill 3 SCVs mining stuff. 4th Hellion is arriving, of course. Picking up SCVs, building a missile turret is always a good thing to go for. So HasuObs, how much energy does he have? He was in about 15 seconds. He will have enough energy. And 2 Vikings being built, and good job by GoOdy directly rallying these Vikings behind the missile turrets. So I would just wanted to say that he will have enough energy to constantly lift more units up. And with his Phoenixes being there, he's got the map control at the moment, and with the Phoenixes having the map control, he can go for an expansion. But he's not expanding at the natural, he is instead expanding at the main. Of course, the main can't be hit by siege tanks, but it is more farther away than, of course, the natural expansion. On the other hand, Hasu thinks, and I think he can, secure this hidden expansion much better with the Phoenixes. For example, if a drop is happening, just lift up 4 Marines, kill the Medivac right away with the Phoenixes, and it's much easier to defend than, for example, to defend a drop here at the high ground, especially thinking about there's a Thor in the mix, because of course Phoenixes compared to the siege tanks can lift up some Thors. Just good job, just flying around, picking up an SCV, building a building here, picking up an SCV, mining some minerals there. And when we take a look at the harvester count, we see Hasu is ahead. We take a look at the supply count, we see Hasu is ahead. We take a look at the units lost count, and there we see Hasu is ahead, very much so. And there are the Vikings. Of course, the Vikings with the superior range can do quite some damage there. On the other hand, the Phoenixes can, if they have the same amount of Phoenixes, then you have Vikings. The Phoenixes just can kill the Vikings. But GoOdy did a good job at not moving out too far with his Vikings, so he's always back in the range of the missile turrets and of the bunkers, of course. Now the main transfer here to the 6 o'clock expansion just finished. He's got the 2 assimilators finished as well. Let's take a look at this production facilities Hasu's got. He's got a robo bay, he's got a robotics facility, so can go for some Colossus right away. He's got 1 Colossus finished, but of course he needs to watch out. And what's the better way to protect your Colossus from Vikings than having shitloads of Phoenixes and Stalkers who have the ability to blink? So we got 4 Stalkers there. The blink still takes another 50 seconds, 60 seconds to finish. Hasu building some hidden pylons here to warp in stuff from everywhere. Of course, you want to warp in some Stalkers right away if you want to protect your Colossus from going down. And what does GoOdy have? So he's got 1 factory, he's got 1 starport, 1 barracks, and now he's getting 2 more factories. Most of the people getting, oh, it's the TVP, I do some marauders, so I get some barracks. But GoOdy says, no, I'm freaking GoOdy, I like my mech units. And I mean, everybody was talking about General against MC going mech all the time and winning with mech, and oh, he's doing the new strategy. But actually GoOdy did mech against every race, doesn't matter if it's Protoss, Terran or Zerg. He went for mech from day 1 since he was playing in the release. So and he know how to play mech against those different races, because every every mech player against a different race requires a different sort of mech play. For example, when you play against Zerg, you have just shitload of Blue Flame Hellions in the mix to prevent any Zerglings from doing too much damage, and Banelings against Thors and Siege Tanks not that much. And if you have enough Thors, you don't need to worry about Mutalisks and stuff. So this is really good. Hasu might to go for some abusive play here on the high ground, and indeed he does. He not only will able to take out the refinery, but he will take out the missile turret there as well. which might allow some phoenixes to do more action, but the phoenixes providing the vision are good enough. Now GoOdy is coming in with the siege tanks, and with the siege tanks there. He needs to blink away, and Hasu is doing this, doing a brilliant job there. He's fully operating here at the 6 o'clock, going for 2 photon cannons. Of course, he's got a photon cannon in the back already, and he's going for an expansion here at the 6 o'clock natural as well. So Hasu will be soon on 3 bases. Meanwhile, currently both are on 2 bases, and Hasu is going ahead in terms of tech as well. He's got the blink finished for the stalkers. He's now going for the charge for the zealots, getting the +1 for all the ground units, and the external thermal lines for the colossi. Meanwhile, he's constantly producing more probes. So Hasu doing a really good job, and he improved, especially in the last 1.5-2 months, quite a lot there as well. I mean, he was able to win, for example, a game versus Dimaga on the IEM on the Gamescom. I know it's already 7-8 months ago, but I still know how happy he was that he won against Dimaga. It was a game on blistering sand, I guess. And I will never forget this, because as soon as he won this game, he was so happy, even though he dropped out relatively early on in the tournament. But GoOdy now going for a Blue Flame Hellion drop, and let's take a look how successful this Medivac will be. Of course, if HasuObs got some phoenixes in the mix, he will be able to defend it quite good. And Hasu just spotted the Medivac. Medivac gets taken out. So good job, and thanks to the blink, this Medivac absolutely did nothing at all. And take a look at the units lost with this harassment style, with the blink stalkers and the phoenixes just blinking up here, blinking up there, taking out this Medivac. Meanwhile, expanding himself, HasuObs is so much ahead. I mean, in terms of units lost, 1,800 resources ahead. Harvester, he's ahead 8 harvesters, but he's on 1 additional base, and he's 76 harvests are enough harvesters to fully saturate 3 bases, and he's fully saturating 3 bases. We see in the income tab, his gas income is a third higher, and because of the mules, his mineral income is only a quarter higher. But now GoOdy is moving out, and in terms of supply, he's not that far behind. He's only behind 10 supply. And now GoOdy, I think he knows about this expansion, and no, he does not, but now he knows that the Blue Flame Hellions are arriving, and the Stalkers and the Cannons should buy himself a little bit more time. The question, of course, is what will Hasu do? And Hasu is doing the only smart thing, which is going for a counter-attack. This is going for a counter-attack. Some DTs in the mix would be nice. Hey, that would be doing so much damage. And yes, HasuObs is going for a counter-attack. He will, of course, clear this command center out, but he's not worrying about the command center. Those 4 Colossi will do quite some damage. Those siege tanks lifted up in the air. Very, very good. 2 siege tanks and 1 missile turret is only alive there for him. And Hasu just finished with an upgrade. He has got the +2 finished with this attack. And GoOdy will take out all of those bases. Meanwhile, Hasu is just in the main base. And as soon as Hasu... nice High Templar, nice storms there. Not all of those SCVs are in the red, by the way. SCVs are now moving out. Zealots are charging in, taking care of those. And as soon as Hasu is in the base here of GoOdy to kill all those... camp all those production facilities, he might be in a good position, but I'm not sure why he's moving back right now. Looks like GoOdy wants to go for the natural off Hasu, where he's just warped in a Nexus, and he's only leaving 2 siege tanks there. The siege tanks are currently attacking the assimilator and some probes, so Hasu is still mining there, but now the High Templars and the Colossi coming in, clearing up the remaining forces here of GoOdy. Hasu letting some of the Stalkers survive by blinking away, and GoOdy not mining from the natural, of course, because